Alright guys, we are back. We are going to try and keep consistent here and get through this series pretty much one day at a time without a lot of fall off. There shouldn't really be anything interfering with that. So if you're just popping in or coming back from last time, what we're looking at right now is Belt has made sure we have what we need to gear out everyone correctly. We've got all the different armor pieces we'll need. We've got the blueprint for the chain armor, but we're going to wait for that. We're not going to try and craft chain armor for everyone before we head out. Right now, we need to get a burst of money, and we need to look at just buying enough crossbows and crossbow bolts to get us through. We don't really want to spend the time crafting crossbows. It takes forever. In my opinion, it's only really viable if you're going to do it in your own town. So we wouldn't even be able to get started, dealing with dust bandits and collecting bounties if we were going to do that. So we're going to go make some money either by hitting some beak thing nests or raiding. I know we're going to definitely raid Narco's Trap. It's just an easy way to get some technology and a little bit of money. We're going to need a weaponsmith in here somewhere. Luckily, it doesn't need to be well lit. We're literally trying to make the worst kind of spiked club we can make. But let's head up to Narco's Trap and see if we can get our hands on the juicy loot inside. We're basically killing a little bit of time. There's only so fast I can get ribs up to snuff in crafting. I don't want to start out with high grade armor just to replace it in like another day worth of armor crafting. So we're going to be letting him finish getting up to 80 skill level, and at that point we'll start having him actually craft armor. That should happen sometime in the next few in-game days, which will be tonight. We should be at least starting to outfit our Shek warriors tonight. That's the goal. It kind of depends on how quickly the game lets him level it up. It is what it is. But in the meantime, we have a lot of stuff we can go do and collect to get ready for that. We've got enough food that we could go ahead and hire the Shek now if we needed to. And getting them hired ahead of time will just mean we don't have to do it once he's done crafting. So we'll see how it goes. All of the crossbows we'd want to buy are in the Black Desert. So we're going to be doing that. Like we'll just buy them from there. Once we have enough money built up between our copper mining as well as all the loot we get from Belt. The whole point of this series, if you're jumping in, is just to actually have some fun getting started in Kenshi instead of letting it be a slog. We're just taking a belt to Kenshi's ass. We're going to have fun. We're going to absolutely run over our enemies. And it's never going to feel tedious. At least that's the hope. I was hoping Ribs would be a little further along, but he's went from 70 to 72 since I started up the stream. So it shouldn't be much longer where we're taking our 20 fighters out, collecting new technology, hunting down beak things for food and fighting experience, and generally exploring the map. We're basically going to start out by hitting the exploration shops, going to the libraries from there. We're going to ignore any armories that have equipment. Those won't serve any purpose for us. We're going to run right through a Holy Nation town as a skeleton and just hope they don't notice. But the idea is that we're going to go to every technology location we can find on the map. We're going to capture every faction leader from every faction, including all of the nobles from the UC. We're going to capture Igor. We're going to capture the Phoenix, all of his Inquisitors, and the whatever the Lord of Flame, his bodyguard is called, and we're gonna try a Hiver, a human, a skeleton, and Beep, just because he's such a unique Hiver, and a Shek, talking to all of them when they're captured. See if maybe there's some dialogue that people missed, just for my own curiosity. I know Io, specifically of the Machinists, has a lot of. He hints at a lot of lore that hasn't been uncovered, and that the skeletons really know what happened, and that none of them have magically forgotten how the world ended and exactly what went down. So we're gonna give him a little interview too. That's the idea here, is to kind of have a tech hunter playthrough while also just having a butt ton of fun instead of sitting around waiting for things to grind up or risking dying all the time because we're not prepared for a fight. Right now, I'm just popping back into town. We're waiting for nighttime to hit Narcos Trap. It makes it a lot safer, especially for a skeleton to go in there. The robots themselves have a higher chance of seeing you too, so it's just overall better to wait. So we'll do some maintenance in town, sell off all of this stuff, buy more books, get some more food. Make sure that our little home away from home here is well maintained. Once we get enough technology, we are going to try and basically be a small tech hunter faction. So what that means is we're going to wait until we have the technology for like the best harpoon turrets, and we've trained some people up to use them before we move forward with building our own base. We might even end up dismissing some of these guys if we do find some random spawn skeletons to join our crew. We will be using 2 skeletons at least on harpoons. The main reason is keeping them fed sucks. They'll sit on the harpoon and die of starvation, even when there aren't any real enemies attacking, just because they're aiming at anything that walks by. How's our little nugget doing? This is going to be our little training dummy. He's got some decent stats. We stole him from the skin bandits, peeled him real good, and we're just going to make sure he doesn't starve himself sitting in prison. He likes to refuse to eat. He's eaten maybe one piece of meat the whole time he's been in there, but we'll make sure he stays healthy. That way we can use him just to get a little bit of practice before we head out. Okay. We'll go ahead and have Khaled operate that too. That way Ribs can stay focused on armor. My plan here is I've played around with this a little bit. The spiked club actually will, even in a relatively useless person's hands, do so much bleeding that you don't necessarily have to win the fight against someone. Even a low quality one was just bleeding people out so quickly that I think when combined with crossbows, it'll be my best bet. Just a low quality one that they can hit people with to finish knocking them out so they can get back to shooting. And we'll see how well that works out. It might stink and we'll audible to something like a short cleaver, something like that. It really just depends on the results. Are we out of iron plates already? Strange. We'll go ahead and buy some more iron plates. Dump these here. I know I can buy a ton of them at this way station. So we'll head to the way station, buy a few more plates, keep her working on that. We're not really too terribly worried about getting a ton of technology from Narcos Trap. We'll obviously keep the really rare stuff just because it's that good. It's not worth wasting and having to delay our late game until later. But I almost wanted to wait. I just don't see us being able to siege Narcos Trap anytime soon. And it'll let us get the loot out of there knocked out without having to sit and wait. And then basically as soon as we're ready to start crafting armor, we'll start doing our recruiting. I just don't want to waste a ton of food having 20 Shek standing around doing actual nothing. That sounds like a bad plan. It's almost time for Belt to head in. Oh, it's already unlocked. Interesting. Luckily, Belt's already had some lockpicking experience, so we should be able to unlock most of the things in here and acquire some tools from the chests in here. If we can't, we may have to come back, which would stink, but I don't think we'll have that problem. Usually you find tools in here. No such luck down here. Not a lot of great loot either. We'll have to see what else we can find. We did find a few ancient science books, which is good. I don't understand how we had a 74% chance to open this one and failed, but the 15% we knocked out so easy. Just gonna try and not get spotted. There are the tools. We probably only need one set, so that's great. We at least have that. 11%. Yeah, we've got a chance to open all of these, which is fantastic. So we'll start with the lowest. Hope to squeeze out a little more XP. I do have to keep my hands near the space bar just in case those spiders randomly detect us. Oh, come on now. This is getting to be a bit much. We're getting a lot of XP for it, though, at least. So if we ever run into a really difficult to open safe, we're pretty much going to be able to open it. There it is. So in here is where the expensive science is, as well as this loot. We'll see what all we want to carry out. But the loot's going to get us a ton of money. It's just a matter of what we can make it out of here with. Looks like we're not even encumbered, which is pretty great. Let's see what else we can get. No, that's still not going to work. We'll have to come back. But we're still leaving with a lot of loot unencumbered, which is nice. So we'll make our way back up here once we've sold all this stuff and put the science away. Leaving, I'm not as worried about it. We're fast enough that if they see us, we'll just run away. This is another reason for making your old soldier from the Freedom Seekers start a skeleton. They can go all over the map. They're less likely to die. They don't take environmental damage. They don't get eaten. And they start, if they're your old soldier person, with 25 in their strength stats and toughness stats. And it makes a big difference in their performance. Right now, Belt's heading back with probably 30, 40,000 cats worth of loot. We don't need a map of the Ashlands. Although I guess we'd probably keep that from a roleplay perspective. But we don't need to. The idea is that Belt is one of the skeletons and just wants to find irrefutable proof that the skeletons know more than they're letting on. He doesn't want to have to just let the cat out of the bag himself. But he has a good idea of the layout of the map, where everyone is, where we can find treasure, and he just wants to help walk the rest of his new tech hunting buddies through the process, make sure they understand. Like, this is real information we found. This isn't just me telling you this. It looks like she already ran through all the iron plates. That's crazy. Takes a lot to make those. And we're out here farming up so much copper so fast. It's nice being able to use that as just a steady stream of income to cover all of the things we need to buy. We're going to put these over here. And we're going to head back to the way station and grab some more iron plates. Oh, come on. All the way out there for iron plates. I'm also going to grab some food just because we got to get way ahead on food. We cannot fall behind. Well, I knew that was possible that they wouldn't restock yet, but I was hoping they had. I'm getting a little too attentive to the maintenance. But we're here, and after she works on those weapons, we'll be able to have her start doing some more research. Yeah, we'll go ahead and hold on to that. Tech level 5. Prototype harpoons. So she'll have plenty to research just from that. And we can start selling all of this equipment. Making a ton of cats while we do it. And then at this point, we can head right back to Narco's Trap. Loot the rest of the goods. And we'll head out for some more crossbows. Ooh, why is Ribs aimless? What? Oh, these are all full. Yikes. Okay. That's something I really want to avoid, is Ribs just standing around doing nothing. I don't want to burn through all of those, but we kind of need to make sure he's got room to craft more. Oh, we're not even going to make it to the other shops in time. Brutal. That's okay. We can store this stuff in here for now. If we have to, it will work. And we didn't have to use it up, which is nice. Yeah, see, Ribs is at 74 crafting already. We're getting very close. I do believe it's 80 is the cutoff that we have to get to. But really, 80 is not that hard to get to. It feels like as soon as you hit 80, though, it slows down so much. Getting it higher and higher past that, you're just increasing your chance of masterwork. I don't think you ever really guarantee it. So it's not as valuable to me because at that point we can just keep crafting. Especially when you're playing not modded. We can only have 30 people fully decked out. It won't take that long to get lucky and get some masterwork for 30 people. We won't wait for that. We'll accept the specialist to get everybody started, but eventually they'll all have masterwork. I'm really surprised there's not an alternative route. I guess this is the very fastest way up there, though. We're going to be getting there right as daylight's coming around, though, so I don't know how that's going to play out. Belt by the end of this is just going to be an absolute madman at running around the map. Where is it? Athletic 76, stealth's up there at 69. Sitting at 100 with gear. I think we've got time to get in there, but it's going to be dodgy. Looks like we got it. Oh, that's encumbering us so much, though. Oh, it's these cores. Okay. So we'll take everything but the cores for now. That has to be a real panic moment for them, seeing a lone skeleton sneakily running away out of the place where they've been trying to hide away technology and keep anyone from getting it. You know, this guy's absolutely panicked that's chasing us, hoping he can catch us. This will help bring in a quick influx of cash, though, and then we'll be able to buy the things we need. I do think I'm going to hold off on buying any more regular books or anything expensive other than iron plates for a while. The only thing I'm worried about having money for is buying the crossbows. They're very expensive. It might even be worth it to go and hit the secret drug farm and just sell what hashish they have there. But I'm not too committed to that. I have to go so far across the map. I hope that the bodyguards I hire don't get caught up by random land bats or something. And it can take a while to sell. It would have been cool if they gave us the ability to put some of this stuff to use. Like, I know you can use some of the skeleton muscle and robotics components, but I don't think there's anything you need the power core for. And it would have been nice to have those loot only things actually be components into something. Like the very last tier of technology. If you go and get a power core, you can build a generator that runs off of nothing, like a nuclear device. That would be sweet. It would be even easier to get through the start of this if I wasn't trying so hard to avoid collecting all the technology before we even have our Tech Hunter squad put together. So I don't want to go and just loot everything with belts, sneaking into all of these different labs. That'll take half the fun out of it. But I do want to get enough money to buy all the crossbows we want. Alright, not a bad haul. We don't really need to go back to Narco's Trap for the rest of it. It's going to be extremely heavy. But at least this way, like I said, we got a little bit of jump start on our money. We'll sell all the copper. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to go ahead and have Belt head out to the Black Desert and see if anything's refreshed. And if it hasn't, we might have to settle for specialist crossbows at the start, just to avoid sitting around. Because if there's no real Masterwork Mark II crossbows, we know it's not really restocking. But I looked it up and it should restock. So hopefully we'll be able to buy what we need. This run's going to take a second, but once we get there, we'll probably park out there until we can get the crossbows we want. At least fill this backpack up and then we'll bring him back. Ideally, I want to just get all of the crossbows we need right off the bat, and we'll pick up some bolts here and there as well. We're looking to have a tech hunting team that's 20 Shek strong that we can take out to do some local bounties, cut their teeth on some beak things, on some dust bandits, get a little battle experience, get their stats up, and then we're going to send them into hunting tech right off the bat. Yeah, Ribs is going to be 80 very soon. We've been streaming for 34 minutes and he's already up by 6 points. We'll let him run, check in on Khaled. Still need so many iron plates. Luckily, though, being surrounded by all these shops, we've got so many places we can sell to. Otherwise, it could be kind of difficult to keep up with the amount of copper we're picking up to be able to sell. But there we go, we're already up to 220,000 cats. Pretty fantastic money making machine going on here. Oh, we need to buy food though. Almost forgot to buy food. Starting to fill up a second food container, which is pretty spectacular. I don't know why, but characters always have trouble between the border zone, Skinner's Roam, and the Deadlands. They really struggle to walk through these three areas without stopping, especially if you're not focused on them. Let's see what they have. It does look like we're not getting any more Mark II masterwork crossbows, so we'll settle for specialist for now. We may end up having to craft our own if we want masterwork for all of them. That did just take a giant chunk out of our money though, so maybe it's for the best they don't have just everything we want right this second. Because you think the Sheks could cost 6,000 cats. And if we want 20 of them, that's 120,000 cats if they end up costing that much. So we're going to have to build back up at least to that just to be able to buy enough recruits. And Kang and Rain the Giant, who start with a little bit better stats, they're going to cost even more. So we're looking at like 130, 140,000 cats just to be comfortable. That shouldn't be a huge problem, but it is going to cost that much. I'm going to take some of these and stash them away. I could just make more containers, but I don't think we're ever going to need more than having those containers full. Ooh, I'm out of room to do that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and sell this stuff. No. That's okay. Our buddy belt shouldn't be too much longer in getting home. We can take a look. I think we only netted about 10 crossbows. We might check World's End and we might check Mongrel just to see if they have some specialist crossbows as well. I am a little concerned they don't reload the really good stuff because we saw no masterwork crossbows at all, which was a bummer. We do already have 10 of them, which is nice. We're gonna need another crossbow locker though. Did we ever get a bolt box? We did not. So we also need a storage place for our bolts. More iron plates are needed. Ideally, we're just gonna go buy a few more crossbows, and then I want to start recruiting because we're gonna be ready soonish. Let's make sure 75 is not the cutoff. No, yep. At least the iron plates and the fabric are really cheap. They're easy to keep up with. Alright, so now it's time to check Mongrel and World's End and see what their crossbows look like. Because if we can get Specialist Mark IIs, we'll take it. And if we have to start with 10 crossbows and 10 people without crossbows, we will. I just would probably be doing a different weapon loadout if they were going to be dedicated melee guys. Probably give them pole arms or something like that. I don't know why today I'm like overwhelmingly tired. I'm sitting here trying to focus and get all these guys geared up and ready to rock, and I am sleepy. Hopefully we'll find some sweet loot up here. It'd be a little invigorating. I really can't overstate how good of a starting city Squint is. It's such a perfect place to get the materials you need, have shops you can sell a realistic amount of copper to. I could get med supplies there, good backpacks. It's overall just probably my favorite place to start out. The next would probably be Heft in the United Cities. I've recently started branching out and starting over there in some of my playthroughs. Heft is pretty great because of the really high quality armor you can get just from buying it. You can buy actual high quality samurai armor, which is pretty fantastic. Okay, let's check out the Ranger shop. Oh, No, not even remotely good enough. That's a bummer. Well, we'll check out World's End, see if we have some better luck there. If not, we'll go back to the Black Desert. If we really have to, we'll make do and we'll do our own crafting. But the things that you have to do to make a crossbow are have raw copper, raw iron, and iron plates. So you almost have to do it in town if you don't want it to be annoying and turn all your raw copper or sorry, raw iron into iron plates. And then you also have to have steel, which requires you to make iron plates and then make those into steel. So it's almost easier to make them yourself in town, but then you're regularly having to wait. You have to level up a whole nother crafter, which I would have had to do a long time ago. We're just probably not going to go that route. If I can avoid it, I will. If I have to level another crafter, I'll figure something out. We may just have a hodgepodge of 10 melee units and 10 crossbow guys. We'll have to see. Well, she's aimless. That means we need more iron plates. Come on, Belt. You can do it. I think another playthrough I want to do, I want to start in United Cities and like build up and become a noble there. I think that would be cool because you can kind of buy your way into the UC and buy your way into the Traders Guild. So do like a real money heavy run where I set up copper mines and some crafters. And the whole goal is just to make a ton of money as quickly as possible to buy your way in and become a noble. And then either buy slaves or hire people to train up as the soldiers and equip them with the good gear that's just available in the United Cities. The other one would be doing a Holy Nation run with no mods, which could be interesting. The thing that sucks is if you really follow the Holy Nation tenets, you can't use anything that requires ancient science books. Or you have to like force the role play that the important people in the Holy Nation are allowed to know science and they can have the stuff to make windmills and whatnot. But if I remember right, basic windmills only require copper. So that kind of keeps you out of the ancient science books department. Because I think you need tech level 4. There was something I basically couldn't build the outpost I wanted without ancient science books. And I ended up just kind of scrapping it and going a little bit past that because you can't make good weapons either. So you have to just deal with using low tier weapons, which means you can't go out into the world anywhere near as early as you would with the way we're doing it. Oh, how do we progress? Are we in the bad place? I think we found a way up. Yeah, I just want to go into World's End. Sweet. Ranger shop should open any minute. There we go. Come on, have some really good crossbows. That's what I need. No, they only have high quality. That's kind of lame. We'll learn how to make the bolts in case we need to. Well, darn, we didn't get anything out of coming all this way. That's rough. We hit the Black Desert City. Oh, Khaled, you're just sitting here waiting to buy iron plates. I'm the worst. Luckily, she didn't get hurt. That could have went badly. Okay, so we have enough weapons for our exploratory team. Now it's just a matter of getting our crafting up, seeing if we can get crossbows, getting our money up, making sure our food stays good. You know you're a little addicted to the game that while you're running around playing the game, you're checking to see if anyone else has uploaded anything about it. Everybody, I'm telling you, if you're a new YouTuber, you want one free subscriber. I will watch pretty much anything Kenshi. If it's not AI dubbed, I just don't like it. If you like it, cool. I don't like listening to the AI voices. And if it's hard to hear or not in English, just I'm hard of hearing as it is. No hate if you don't speak English. I just can't understand it, even if it's just a heavy accent. So like anything short of that, I'll watch it. One of my favorites was Paganacho, who just vanished off of the face of the earth. Kenshi creators keep dropping like flies. So hopefully it won't just be me out here obsessing over this game, and we'll see some more people like TGP and Double A really get into it even more. We need Kenshi 2 to drop. As soon as Kenshi 2 drops, everything gets crazy. Okay, we're just gonna try and go down to here. It's not wanting to path correctly. Ribs is almost there, so we're gonna try one last round of buying crossbows. If it doesn't pan out, we're just gonna give up on having a full crew of crossbows at the start and start hiring some Shek. I bet he's like close to done. He just switched over to 79. But we're here. We're ready. Once he ticks over to actually being at 80, it should be specialist every time as long as the area is well lit. Alright, let's see if the scrap house has anything for us. We also have the option of really upgrading our guys using the peeler if I slowly buy robotic limbs over time too. That's going to be crazy. So we do get Mark II specialists back. That's good. But it looks like we're not going to get more Masterwork Mark IIs. Those might be considered artifacts. I think I remember reading that the actual master level of just about anything, whether it's crossbow or armor, is considered an artifact, and you can't. It's not going to come back even in this shop, which would make sense that the best we can get is specialist. But I did confirm we can buy at least specialist, which is good enough. That will definitely get her done. We'll probably eventually start crafting ourselves because with such a small team, I mean, 30 people fully equipped trying to take on factions is rough. If we want to do it with 20 instead and maintain a presence at our base, that's going to be even harder. I'm also kind of tempted to not do a base with a squad this small and instead rebuild the hub and maybe set up some hydroponic food there and keep our cages there. That would simplify it. You know, we wouldn't be getting a base raid, but that kind of seems to kind of cheesing it. I don't necessarily want to do that. I haven't made up my mind yet. Long and short, I haven't made up my mind. Maybe I'll capture some people, like take out the Holy Nation while we're still haven't built a base yet. It's possible I might do that. Pick up this guy because he just wants to be fussy and not eat. But I don't hate the idea of getting my questions in with the Phoenix and his Inquisitors before we really settle into having a base. That wouldn't be the end of the world. just so we could go build our base in like the Holy Nation territory and have the fertility, there's great places to build bases there. Just incredible areas for you to build in. My Holy Nation playthrough is one of my favorites just because you get to build in high green fertility and there's so much room for activities. We haven't filled up all of these yet, have we? All but one, I'll be danged. Okay, so we'll get turn off jobs. We're gonna empty 2 of these out again and sell that stuff. I just don't want him getting stuck. I know we're coming up on the 80 mark, but I'd rather sell a little bit and maybe he's got to hop back on there for a second. I don't want him sitting around not leveling because he overfilled the inventory again. I would hate that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, it still says hi. That seems weird. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and cancel these. Maybe I have to refresh it. Nah. Oh, he's not actually at 80 yet. It tricked me. Yep. So it says 80 over here, but he's not really yet. That's dastardly. But we have 10 crossbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll only have to make one more trip for crossbows, which is cool. And we're not going to need to spend too much more money. It should be tonight that we start actually gearing people out. We should at least get to see 1 or 2 knockdown, drag out fights with our fresh greenhorn Shek going out into the world with nothing but Rain the Giant and Kang to help them get through it. It's crazy how quickly the money can go, though, when you're buying these expensive crossbows. He's really just going to starve himself. We're just going to let Khaled hold on to him for a while. That won't hurt her. I do need to remember that because Beep is such a unique character, I have to go recruit him. He can be our 10th character for the home base team. So we've got 9 right now. I've just got Belt in a separate group so I don't randomly have the whole squad running out after him as I send him around. Are you actually at 80? Still not quite. We're so close though. So close. It's time to start recruiting and then buying our last few crossbows. So what do we need? 3 more? 9, 18. Yeah, 3 more. I thought so. go ahead and upgrade the bench. If we have the iron plates for it. If we don't, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, there we go. We're actually at 80. Let's flip it over. Specialist. Perfect. Okay. So now we queue up 20 of these. Uh-oh. My mouse has started double clicking on me and it really makes this process painful. I'm pretty sure it just happened again. Yep. But we caught it. Okay, so now we've got 20 of the armor, helmet, leg plates, and boots. I know the boots, I've seen a lot of the you should just wear sandals. I know the boots look cooler, and I think theoretically they do protect your feet better. Either way, this is the way we're going. We're gonna do boots. The uniform looks crisp. You'll see it when they start wearing it. It is worth it. And so he's set up to beat out some more plates if we have to. We probably already have enough fabric, but if we don't, we'll buy more. And it looks like we've got plenty of iron plates to put this together, which is great. I wonder if there's any research. Yeah, we can go ahead and get tech level 6. Advanced harpoonery. Double barrel. Ooh, that ate up our AI cores. We do have 3 AI cores we can buy though if we really decide hydroponics are where it's at. Now that we have Belt back in town, I'm going to have him do the running around. We'll keep Khaled researching. We might even get up to tech level 6 and goof around with that. Right now, though, we are in money conservation mode. It's time to start hiring Shek. And then it's going to be time to grab the last 3 crossbows. But we basically need to do both of those things. We're making a ton of money, though, just off of the copper. So it's kind of just a matter of time. I'm going to go ahead and start the recruiting process. I want to find the really good ones first. Like Kang. Ruka will be free, which is great. And Rain the Giant. Just because those two, you get a freebie, and then you get characters that have some pretty decent stats. Did Kang and Rain the Giant not spawn here? That would be a bummer. But I can go to the other Shek cities and find them. They'll be there somewhere. Did I miss them? Peace. There's excuse me. There's tons of Shek though. No matter what. Okay, so we're gonna go look for Kang and make sure we recruit him first. I'd like to do the rest of the recruiting with a Shek so I can just have that group already put together. We'll throw Belt back in the group with everyone else. That does remind me I need to make sure I buy bolts eventually. Won't do very much having all those crossbows with no bolts. That's not ad mag. Before we build our base, though, especially since we're wanting to have people who stay home, I definitely want to have the very best crazy harpoon turrets and have people at least somewhat trained on the harpoon training device before we set out and make our own base. I hope Kang and Rain the Giant did spawn in at all. That would be rough if they're just not here. That would be kind of a bummer, because they're pretty much always somewhere in the Shek Kingdom. But it looks like they may not have spawned in. I feel like that would be super weird. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen. Wow. Is there another Shek city I'm not thinking of? I don't think the front lines is where they would be. Hmm. We'll check back home in Squint again. That's so strange. And if nothing else, we'll just start recruiting random Shek. I wonder if they spawned in at this way station. I didn't really look too closely at the Shek recruits there. Okay. No, not even Shek recruits, which doesn't surprise me. Kang and Rook are like always in Squin. I know sometimes they can be in AdMag, but I would be really confused if they didn't spawn in at all. And frankly, a little disappointed. Well, they're definitely not over here. There's Kang. Okay. Rain the Giant should be in here somewhere in like a red trench coat. But that's okay. We'll hire Kang. We'll call it good. And he's always cocky when you hire him, but that's fine. We're gonna have Belt come over here. These will be our tech hunters. We'll have Kang start doing the recruiting. It also makes it easier to recruit people if you're a Shek as well. And we're gonna make our Shek beefy. I have to actually take Kang somewhere to get him redone. It doesn't let you redo him at the start. But I've got some pre-made kind of things for the Shek to make them look actually big and scary. I just think it's cooler that way. It might be a tragedy to redo Ruka because she's a unique recruit too, but I like having them all look like big, intimidating Shek badasses. Just the way I do it. I might have to send Kang out on his own though. Does he have athletics? Yeah. Kang has decent athletics. We might send him to recruit the rest on his own. Luckily, these aren't coming in at 6,000 cats, so we're not going to have nearly as much money as I was worried about. or at least as much as I calculated earlier, really overestimating. Well, there's one. I've always found it interesting that there are so many female Shek to recruit, but not a ton of males. You'd think there'd be male Shek that wanted to prove themselves too, even if they weren't necessarily just servants. You would think there would be enough of them sitting around that wanted to prove themselves, had the chip on their shoulder, something like that. What? Oh, oh, that's terrible. I didn't even build storage for the armor. What a colossal oversight. Let's get that put in. Can't believe I did that. That was silly. But we'll make sure we have plenty of room, plenty of storage. We'll make sure he's set to engineer. What? Are we out of iron plates? No. So what's going on? Oh, they take building materials. Okay. Ooh, I almost ran into that building before it was open. That would not have went well for me. Okay, so now Ribs will start actually crafting our armor, which is great. Would have been better if that had been going on this whole time, but I'll cope somehow. I'm gonna send Belt to buy more building materials. We need at least 4 more. And then we'll send Kang to finish doing our recruiting. We'll hit Add Mag first. Grab everybody from there, and then we'll check some of the way stations, things like that. We may not be able to do all Sheks. There's a lot fewer recruits than I was expecting. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, that's good. He's back to crafting. And I probably want to, if I have to go all over the place, I'm probably going to send Belt to do the recruiting. It doesn't make sense to try and send a character with less stats to do it if I've really got to run around the map. Now I still need 13 more Shek, and I don't know about you, but I didn't see 13 more Shek ready to be recruited. So many. We're gonna have a mostly female tech hunter force. This was not some kind of Hollywood casting, okay? That's just how it worked out. They're here, they're able to fight, we take them. I really thought there was another bar here somewhere where I could hire more Shek, but I guess not. Oh no. Yeah, no, we don't want that. I don't want everybody heading here. Don't mind the name of the preset. Don't look behind the curtain. Just ignore that. It does seem to be it from here. Keep these guys together just in case. And I'm just going to send Belt to do the rest of the recruiting. So we'll swap. Ooh, see, the game almost crashed. Got a little cocky, swapping without saving. It almost got me. We're getting close. Just want to make sure these guys get there. Let's have everybody head this way. And I'm going to send Belt out now. He can drop this stuff off with somebody. So we're after Beep and 9 more Shek. That's the goal. I'm going to check the other way station. I'm going to check the hub. And if they're not there, there's a chance there's some Shek in the swamp. After that, I don't know where I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to check and comb through the United Cities. Or just accept some human recruits. That might be the other play. I just really like the idea of our whole fighting force being Shek. I like the extra toughness, the extra hit points. It's just what I want to do. You know, we haven't done a full-on save in a minute. Besides the autosave, I'd like to have another firm save just in case it crashes. If we get unlucky, we're going to just deal with that and roll with the punches. But if something like a game crash or someone randomly gets flung on top of a mountain and I can't get them back, then we'll do a reload or whatever we got to do to unbug the game. But we just get smacked down when I thought we shouldn't have. That's tough luck. Sir, we're heading to the hub, not stack. Or wait, no, we were getting beep. That's right, we get beep first. One beep nugget. As soon as we finish recruiting, we'll start stripping down the Shek, getting them their proper equipment as it gets pulled together, and start buying the bolts we need. Gotta start buying bolts. Food's gonna start getting eaten into, but it won't be too long before we're going out there and hunting beak things and restocking our supplies. I also don't hate the idea of setting up a base in the Leviathan Coast, on the Leviathan Coast, because there's just so much food readily available. That wouldn't be terrible either. We had a hard load there. I was worried for a second. Beep, where are you, my guy? There's no one in this bar to recruit. Rough. What do we got in here? Alright, we got Shrike. Shrike's with the tech hunters, but we can recruit her. Interesting. Trap. Bean Hops here. We can recruit a Shek. No sign of Beep yet, though. I hope he didn't follow us out of town when I came in here for a split second and bailed. That would be such a bummer. Already be down Beep and not able to recover him? No way. That can't be the thing, right? So there's like one or two people we can recruit here. That happen to be Shek, which is good. But I was wanting to get Beep and not necessarily wanting to try and get a bunch of people out of Mongrel. Beep, where are you? He can't have already gotten got, can he? Did I really lose Beep because I ran in and out? That would be such a bummer. If I did, he'd be in like this first fog yard. I don't see anybody on a pole, which is good. Although I suppose if I'm really worried about that, I should verify he's for sure not in the city before running back out again. Where are you, Beep? Come on, man. He's normally appeared and just straight up harassed me by now. Maybe if we hold still. There he is. He just wasn't coming up to us. Beep. Hi, Beep. That was just a guess. I'm definitely a genius. They kicked him out for saying beep. That is brutal. He doesn't want any money though, so we'll take him. You're coming with me, Beep. If I recruit Shek from here, I'm gonna have to take them with me one at a time. They're not gonna make it out of here unless they're on my back. Actually, let's throw this backpack onto Beep. And that should stop me. Yeah, I'm completely unencumbered, which is great. I've only got 10 Shek. I really wanted them to all be Shek, so we'll have to play it by ear, see what all I can recruit elsewhere. There were 2 in Mongrel, which is good if I absolutely have to, but I've got to run them back one at a time from Mongrel. Otherwise, I'm risking just running all that way and them dying. I still don't have a good fighter. Like, Belt is not a really strong fighter. 25 in stats and then like 33 attack because it's a Nodachi and no armor on him. I'm not going to be fighting my way out of the fog anytime soon. So I basically have to stealth run anybody I recruit from dangerous places this way. But we can check the hub and we can check the way station and then we'll head home. Ribs is still working away. Let's go ahead while we're running. Let's sell some stuff and buy some bolts. Ooh, they don't actually sell a ton of them. We might have to craft bolts. We might get stuck doing that. I did learn how, so that's not too much of an issue. I think we're going to do that. We're going to have Khaled start crafting those, just because I'm not worried about having a crossbow crafter anytime soon. But I need the bolts, so anybody can really do that. She's not doing a ton of science right this second, so we'll probably do that. Okay, crafting. Need an arrow making bench. And then we're going to need more iron plates because that's what they're made out of. We're just going to move Beep back into this squad for now, just to keep it simple when I send people home. Because I'm not going to have Beep stay with me now that we're out of the fog area. Okay, we've got another Shek here. Paste, what a name. Okay, we're going to send Beep and Paste back home. I'm going to send Kang up to the hub. Belt over to the way station. And this will all just work, hopefully. We're having Kang come up to the Shinobi Tower so we can get him looking like the other big beefy Shek. We can't have our strongest Shek being the shortest guy on the team. I do think it'd be pretty great to take some bandits up to one of the slave areas, and if you sell them into slavery, then buy them back out, you slowly still get positive relation, even though you put them there in the first place. So it'd be pretty great to get allied with all the bandit groups out here and just run some kind of bandit group of our own that doesn't get attacked by the dust bandits or the hungry bandits because they're all our allies. Alright, let's see. Come on, give me all the Shekis. Is that? No. Okay. We have Dirt. Yet another wonderful name. We may not be doing all Sheks. We'll see though. I'm going to try a little bit, and I may even try off stream just to get the recruits. But I wasn't going to do any off stream stuff, so we'll see. Dirt, go ahead and get some food. You are hungry. Is that Kang? No. Paste and Beep just stopped short. And then Dirt's gonna come over here. Kang needs to talk to the Shinobi Thieves. Belt will send you to Shark. I didn't mean, oh boy, nope. We're gonna send Belt back home because I left my backpack on Beep like a goober. How are we doing on food with all these guys just standing around? Still really good. That's good. Kang, find the surgeon. Get yourself looking like a badass. And we're just gonna pick up Dirt. Dirt seems to be struggling. The pathing across this river has never been good. Everybody struggles with this for some reason. Although it does look like Dirt finally figured it out. One thing you gotta be careful of is sending them into this city late at night. If you just click on the city, sometimes that tells them to try and walk into a building in the middle of the night. So you gotta watch that. Make sure you really tell them to go get inside one of your buildings. Not to do anything crazy. Beep, can I have my stuff back, please? That was a small oversight. Okay. So we'll move Beep here. Kang, you can come back here. Well, no, we'll wait with Kang. We need 7 more Shek from somewhere. Well, it looks like we didn't get as far as I thought we would. It took a little longer running around, hiring people, getting ribs actually up high enough to start really crafting equipment. But as you can see, it's all specialist or better. We're going to be extremely well equipped. We're probably going to have to start the actual crazy go time tomorrow, but that'll be before day 30. We're in specialist gear with specialist crossbows, just whooping butt. And most of this time's been running around exploring, hitting some technology labs, breaking into Narcos trap. It's not like we sat around for 30 days doing nothing, not having fun. Go risk it for the biscuit on the beak things. And tomorrow we will start maybe a little bit earlier and be able to put some real time in, but it's getting close to dinner time. It's time to wrap up. I will see you guys all tomorrow. I'll probably go look and see if I can actually get 20 Shek, and then I'll just kind of make a decision if I want to go ahead and recruit them or not and finish the crafting portion. But I don't want to do anything where I'm running around off camera if I don't have to, because then you don't know if I really stuck with it, if I got hosed. So we'll see. I might take a look around, see if I can recruit, but I might not. We might just save it here and call it a day. But I'll be on tomorrow, and we will get these guys equipped and up and running. If you guys have been watching this far, I appreciate it. I know most people just kind of watch it after the stream gets uploaded to YouTube. If you have any suggestions or comments, just let me know, and